A pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Carlos Brown. Here's simply what's trending on today's show. Number one seed, Southern University men's basketball team knocked out in the SWAC Basketball Tournament. The SWAC Tournament finals are set both on the women's side and the men's side. And a simple question or an exclamation point. March Madness or Madness in March? I'll talk about that. I'll take the latter part. Good morning, everybody. Now, we're going to introduce the panel, and then I'm ready to go. We'll bring them in one by one. There's Wheeler. Good afternoon, Wheeler.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Charles Edmond. Good morning, sir.
How about that, Carlos? Good morning. I'm kind of trying to be in vogue. I don't know if this is an epic fail or what I'm doing here, but go Braves here today.
We're going to talk about that. Let's see. Coach Pettaway, is he there, or he's going to join us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Carlos, I see you and I hear you. I'm here.
Okay. Well, I don't see you, but I hear you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
Well, let's just start with what's trending number one. Southern's men knocked out of the SWAC Basketball Tournament. And Coach Pettaway, you promised to keep me from going off. But it's not what people think. Jaguars lost, as we pull it up here, 65-62 in overtime. And guys, I just kind of looked at some of the stats. Southern out-rebound Grambling State 52-36. Points in the paint, 38-24. Southern's advantage. I see 31.9%, let's just round it off, 32% from the field. From three-point land, they were not good at all. 3 of 17. Free throws, 6 for 6 in overtime, 5 and 5 in the first half, 4 and 4 in the second half. Our math scholars out there, that's 100%, because that was one of the things that Southern fans talked about. With that being said, 65-62. If I can, let me just a brief commentary. People were checking on me. They thought I would be ranting, raving. I'll be just upset. No, I'm not. I look at it from the big picture. Yeah, disappointed. Okay, Willie, just give me a second. You're ready for me? I'm ready for you. 20 wins, right? Regular season champ. In my point of view, off non-conference. 2 big wins, although I had somebody tell me Louisiana Tech and Tulsa ended up being trash. Well, guess what? In their conference, Southern would have been ahead of them in their conference. So when I look at everything, they didn't get the SWAC tournament, and we're not going to debate about why it's the case. We all know, Charles, that is the case.
Carlos.
I think Carlos froze up on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm back. Here's what I said to Coach Johnson. Coach, thanks for hard work you and your staff put in this season. I appreciate it. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Somebody might ask, well, what about the SWAC tournament? Yeah, if they'd have won that would be outstanding. But they didn't. Stuff happens. But overall, a very good season in my opinion. Coach Pettaway,
Carlos, I agree with you. I'm serious now. As a coach, a lot of times this is disturbing. Maybe I missed all of this. Well, I do know that social media and the internet and all that start coming into play toward the end of my career. but I had no idea that fans were this. I mean, when you have a season like you all have had, everybody should be happy. You won a conference championship. Yes, you got upset in the tournament, but that does not take away from what those young men at Southern did on that court, what that coaching staff did. You're not going to win all the games. Uh, what do we have to go back to 1975 when somebody went undefeated in college basketball? That's not going to happen. That doesn't happen anymore. You all had a very successful season, and there are a lot of schools. I tell you what, I'll take that season. I would take that season at Alabama A&M and be very happy with it. And then I saw somebody on there say something about what coach lets their team go 7 minutes without scoring. It's not a coach that's on the sideline. He doesn't step on the floor and score the points. You know, the coaches don't score the point. All they can do is try to put those kids in a situation where they can attempt to score points, where they can attempt to stop their opponent. You know, a lot of times when the X's and O's, you got to have some Jimmys and Joes to execute your game plan. And sometimes players have off days. In every sport that's played, you're going to have an off day. And you're not going to be playing at your best. And it's in these times where you got to get behind these kids. And I'm going to say this one more time. This internet and these fans going on complaining about their school and their teams and their coaches, you hurting recruiting. You're hurting recruiting. Because when these student athletes, prospective student athletes at your institution, they know how to get on social media. They know how to. They do it a lot better than we do. Well, I can anyway. So when they see these comments, that's in the back of their mind. Do I want to go to a school like that? But you all have a great program going. Coach Johnson has done an outstanding job, he and his staff. And I promise you, I think the best is yet to come. I think all they have to do is take a chill pill. Yes, you lost in the championship, but I mean in the conference tournament, but you had a great season. And I think that's all you can say. You had a great season.
Willa, I had, and let me just say this: it's not all of the Jaguar Nation, but I had a feeling. I had to sit back and think, maybe are they really going mad? Some of them. I had, and at first I didn't want to bring this up, but you know how I am. I'm emotional. I'll bring it up. Somebody text me that you heard of this guy named Will Wade?
Yeah.
It's a shame I have to bring that up. Well, he's done a great job at McNeese. Somebody said Southern should have hired him. What? Get the I'll leave that part blank.
Come on.
Boy.
Carlos,
Carlos, for that person that brought up Will Wade, why is Will Wade where he is now?
He was on the phone, said I offered him a damn good deal.
Right. Hold on. Let me tell you. No. Why did he lose his other job? He was doing things under the table. He was doing things backhand. Okay. He was doing NILs before it was legal to do NIL. All right. He's where he is now because he's doing the same thing, but now it's legal. All right. If that fan or whoever that was that likes Will Wade, give Coach Johnson the same money that Will Wade is getting for NIL and see won't he have the same results. Coach Johnson will have the same results if the Jag Nation is putting NIL money in like Will Wade is getting. I guarantee you that.
It was a great year. It was a great year. Yep. I mean, let's not try to twist this into something that it's not. What I hope is that Coach Johnson and his staff aren't listening to the boo birds, especially to the point where it taints his idea of whether or not he should stay at Southern or not. Yeah, because, make a long story short, Carlos, somebody coming after that guy is just a matter of time.
Yep.
And what you don't want is a rabid fan base that's going to, in essence, help drive him in another direction. You don't want that. So what I would hope is that, all you guys, whenever you come across a coach, just, let him know how appreciated he is, how lucky we feel that, he's decided to come and coach at Southern, how we want him here for a long time, so forth and so on. Give him all the accolades that we can give him, keep him on a high note, like I said, because somebody's coming. Let's not get this twisted. And we don't want him to make a decision based off of a rabid fan base, based off of one game or what have you. But it was a great year. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. And anybody in their right mind feels the same way about Coach Johnson as they did when he crossed the finish line and won the regular season title. Before the tournament started, ain't nothing changed. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. Wasn't his day, wasn't Southern's day that day. Suck it up, move on. Let's take the lessons learned from it, and keep it moving. But we can't let the boo birds, spoil our day. What they say, don't let them take your joy away, all that sort of thing and stuff. You know, just put that in the rearview mirror and keep it going.
Well, Charles, I'm ready for the smoke today. I see they are, and I kind of suspected they were going to come in the chat room. So I'm going to try to stay focused and not go into the chat room, as much. But your thoughts?
Congratulations on a great regular season. Got it done in the regular season. Unfortunately, in this day and time, and if you just go back to the end of the season and the postseason, Southern lost their last 3 games. And this was a team I thought defensively that was good enough. But offensively, you got to figure some things out. You go 7 minutes without scoring. I don't care who you play. I don't care how good your defense is. It's just going to be very difficult. And I thought that if Southern, in my bracket, if Southern ran into Grambling, considering the first meeting down in Baton Rouge and how that's a rivalry game and all of that, I thought that the Jaguars just couldn't get it done when it mattered the most offensively. But we're just in a different time, Carlos, with recruiting, the transfer portal. The roster's going to flip. There are going to be some players that probably will try to transfer out. You hope not. Roster's going to change next year. And I think the mindset now in college sports is you got to take it, you got to strike while the iron is hot, because next year that iron might not be as hot. Case in point, the All-Corn Braves men's basketball team. Last 3 years, 2 regular season titles, number 2 seed. Then the last 2 years, got knocked out in the first round. Landon Bussey's done a wonderful job, but people are saying one and done the last 2 years. So you got to take advantage of the situation right now. You don't know what the roster is going to look like next year. And Southern had the team to make a deep run. And I think one and done in the tournament, second year in a row, albeit I won't use last year because that was his first year. But this year, Southern had the group to do it. And they just didn't. And I think that's what's frustrating to Jaguar fans. And then you're looking at the SWAC tournament right now, championship, Alabama State and Jackson State. I mean, Southern University could very well handle both those teams. So I think just the frustration of a one and done, the great season, yes, but once you get in the postseason, none of that stuff matters. And so with what you're looking at going forward, the roster changes, things change. But right now, you got to take advantage of the right now. And right now, Southern is sitting at home, best team in the conference as far as records, sitting at home. And I think that's frustrating. And so I think you have to respect the frustration. I think that's where I look at it, because I expected Southern to make it to the championship game. I had Southern there, but they ran into Buzzsaw and Grambling, who was playing their second game in 2 nights. I think that's the other frustrating part about it. Grambling barely made the tournament. They played 2 games in 2 days, and you would expect the Tigers to kind of be a little bit tilted because they just played the night before, and they came out and got it done against a Tiger team, a Tiger team that was kind of tired. So I understand your point, Carlos. Yes, great season, but one and done. Considering what Southern has done, all that hard work during the regular season and conference, it just seems like a blip to some people. To you, great season. But I think in the days that we're in right now, it's about the postseason, about what you're going to do in the SWAC tournament. If they made it to the finals and lost, I would say yeah. But you got to respect the Jaguars fans who are frustrated at all of that. One and done. It's a team that was pretty tired in Grambling.
It's not about respect or disrespect. You acknowledge that they lost in the first round. Right. But you want to wipe out the whole damn rest of the season because of that? No. I don't. No, I don't.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you on that. But unfortunately, 20 years ago, that probably would have been a wonderful story. But we're in a different time now where it's about the postseason. And in the SWAC, it's a one-bid league, unfortunately. One team's going. And yes, this talk of the best team in the regular season winning the tournament, well, it just proves a point again. You got Alabama State that nobody talked about. Jackson State, a few people did talk about. And with that revamped roster that they got, they're going to be a tough out today with Manziel and Shannon Grant, what they've done. And you got Ruffin, that revamped roster, they're in the championship game. But for Southern University, they were good enough defensively to lock teams down and get to a deeper run. And they didn't. And I think that's what's frustrating to Southern fans, the fact that out of all that one and done, not discounting the regular season, but unfortunately in today's day and times, it's about the postseason. And the postseason, one and done, I think it's frustrating for a lot of fans, a lot of Jaguar fans in the Jaguar Nation, for some to swallow.
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments. Jay Lawson, this is common in other conference where the regular season champ doesn't win the tournament. It only magnifies cause of having only one bid to the dance. So oh boy, I don't know if it's a bad weather messing up here. I'm back. I'm sorry if it broke up. Some people, let's say, okay, they win the tournament and then they go up against a number 1 seed, right? Some of these people, if that representative of the conference gets blown out, they're going to be disappointed. They shouldn't have got blown out. But I'm a realist. I am not, and I don't care if I'm the last person standing. With my opinion, it was a good season. I'm not going to hang my lip. I'm not going to be frustrated. I'm going to watch this March Madness in March, because guess what? Regular season champ, that still means a lot to me, and I'm sure some other people. But I'm just trying to understand that you're going to take out, and I don't care about the climate in sports, because we talked about it on the show. For some reason, a few years ago, some people have gone mad. I'm to the point now, I think if they'd have went undefeated in the conference, and they very well could have, 3 losses by 3 points, then they go to the tournament, and they win, and they blow everybody out. And then they go to March Madness, 16th seed. Well, they would probably miss the play-in.
Some
people
Carlos,
still would complain.
I could understand it if the Southern men's basketball team was arrogant over the course of the season because they were beating everybody and in first place, almost wire to wire and all that sort of thing. If they were walking around with their chest stuck out and, if Coach Johnson was, unapproachable or, things of that nature, if he was cocky and arrogant, I could understand people feeling the way they feel, but this was a very unassuming program, an unassuming coach, a very humble coach, a very humble team from all indications, that sort of thing. So to me, that doesn't lend itself to anybody getting on them in a negative manner, simply because, those kids just went out there, they just played ball. Coach Johnson just went out there and he and his staff did the things necessary in order to get them where they were, that sort of thing. So I think that's the part that pisses me off more than anything else. And if you want to compare them to some other teams who didn't win a Celebration Bowl or what have you, whose kids may have been a little bit on the cocky side or, things of that nature, and you can't compare, I think, the atmosphere of the two because you got two, I think, totally different dynamics in my estimation. And that's just me talking.
Right. And then Carlos, remember this now. And I know I know how passionate you are about Southern. You've already said the real deal. This is not all of Southern Jag Nation thinking this way. It's only a few. So in this day and time, you're not going to please everybody. So let that few have their say and move on, because I'm gonna tell you what, there's something on the horizon that we all forgot about. Yeah, Southern may or may not get a bid to the NIT, right? Because of the way they've changed their things.
Yeah.
But do you know, this is what we've all forgotten about now. There's still a national championship available. And I think Southern will get an invitation to that. So there's still going to be postseason play. This will be the first year for the HBCU National Championship. So I guarantee you Southern will get an opportunity to represent the SWAC in that. So
yeah, we hope so, Coach. Yeah.
Right. So stay focused. Don't allow one or two naysayers get the best of the rest of us, because the majority of us are supporting Coach Johnson and that team. So don't allow one or two to spoil what they have accomplished this year. And there's still more things that they can accomplish, because later on they will be playing for a national championship.
And we wish them the best.
Correct.
Now, on the women's side and the men's side, the tournament finals are set. Southern University and Alcorn State, as we see Charles with the big A on there.
Yeah, big A.
And I believe Charles made the prediction that it was going to happen. But for Southern, Jackson State, they took them down. Okay, can you still hear me, or am I breaking
up? You're good, Carlos.
Okay. Let's get some of this good energy in here.
Yeah.
Get away the negative energy. Okay, because what I'm seeing, I thought I was breaking up. Southern University over Jackson State, 51-47. Yeah, you're right, KK. As true basketball fans understand. For others, go kick rocks. That's a good one. It's always but the women's basketball team with a tough one over Jackson State, and nothing pleases me more than a victory over Jackson State, Wheeler. No matter what sport it is, it was a tough ball game. 17-15 after one quarter. Second quarter, low scoring. Southern outscored them by 3, 9-6. In the third quarter, a double-digit scoring advantage over Jackson State, 16-5. But I said, if I know Coach Richardson and I know Jackson State passing, they're going to make a run, and they did. In the fourth quarter, they outscored Southern University 19-11. But boy, 51-47, Southern makes it to the finals. Both teams shot not well. Southern 33%, Jackson State 27%. From behind the arc, both teams in the low 30s. Free throws, 15-19 for Jackson State, 78.9%. And for Southern, 12 of 17 for 70.6%. Let me say this. Jackson State women and their staff, they did a great thing. Nothing to hang your heads down on. Although maybe, as the narrative of this show has been so far, some of them are going to complain. But look, Jackson State made a run. It was a tough ball game. And I think the future looks bright for Jackson State women. For Coach Funchess in the tournament championship for a couple of times now. So at 5:30 Central or 5 o'clock Central, somewhere at that time, they'll decide who wins. Southern University and Alcorn State.
Right. I think it's been a great tournament. And, man, Alcorn, from the first day, man, they look just like they did last year. Coach Kilbert had his kids ready to play. And, Carlos, that team plays well down the stretch. They started about with 3 weeks left in the regular season. They started picking up momentum. And, man, they are turning it on. But, Charles, I just got one question. The $1 million question. Is Destiny available today?
It will be a game time decision. Based on what I was told just a little while ago, last night when the team got back to the hotel, got back here, which is like a block from the arena, Destiny Brown would appear to be in good spirits. But again, she hit her head. Again, really the test is the next day. You wake up, you have a headache, and I'm sure they're going to go through all the tests. Now, when I get to the arena, if she's not dressed out, that means she's in protocol and she's out.
Yep.
But my guess, from what I was just a little bit of information, I think we're just kind of holding that medical stuff to the vest, is that she'll probably come out. That means she's not in protocol, and give it a go. And if Destiny is 40%, I think we have a shot. If Destiny is out, that means other players have to step up, and it's really going to be difficult because Destiny has been probably one of the MVPs of this tournament. Right. She had 7 blocks yesterday against Texas Southern. I thought that this is the Destiny Brown we've been waiting for. But if she's not 100% based on what happened, then so other players going to have to step up. And also, guys, we're without another key piece that will not play. Janae Anderson, who was really big against Alabama A&M in the celebration, trying to chest bump one of her teammates. She came down awkwardly in the final 3 seconds of the game. Her knee was swollen. She didn't play yesterday. It's anticipated that she won't play today. So the dynamics of this game definitely would change without Janae Anderson and possibly without Destiny Brown, or maybe not even 100% Destiny Brown. So I think that's, to answer your question, Coach, it's going to be a game time decision. I'm sure they'll be getting to the arena fairly soon, and they will check her out to see if she's able to go. I will say that our trainer is very close to the vest, and Nate Kilbert's close to the vest. If they feel like that Destiny Brown is not 100%, she will not play. And Nate Kilbert doesn't play when it comes to stuff like that. Player safety, just holding players out. This is for the championship. Yeah. Second year in a row we've been there. Yeah. But player safety is important. And if Destiny's not 100%, considering what happened to her, hitting her head on the floor and all that, going through all the tests and going through everything, then she won't go. But my guess is they'll take a look at her. That means she's not protocol. And we'll see how she looks at warm-ups. If it doesn't look right, she might not play, or she may be limited in playing. But look, we've been through this. Lady Braves have been shorthanded. This is no big deal to Nate Kilbert, even though it's Destiny Brown. We've been through this all year. We've been shorthanded from game one. The difference with Destiny Brown, sure. But I think if we can keep this game low, and the games that Southern has lost in conference, 55 points scored against Alcorn, 38 against Alabama State or A&M, one of those.
A&M.
For the score, I think it favors Alcorn. And I think with our defense, that's probably the game plan anyway, with Destiny Brown or not, or Janae Anderson or not. The lower the score, the better. If it gets into the 60s, as one of the assistant coaches told me this morning, we're in trouble. So we'll see how all this comes together here in a little bit.
Right, and that was unfortunate. When we watched it live and we kept watching the replays yesterday. The game was in hand, and all that Alcorn was trying to do was inbound the basketball from the side, and it was just a freak accident. I know some people were trying to say it was intentional. I don't think it was intentional. And then I got a chance to meet Charles. Believe it or not, I got a chance to meet some of her family because they came up while we were broadcasting, and when they were trying to get information as to how to get to the locker room. I sent them in the direction of the locker room, and they came back to tell me they still wouldn't let them get to Destiny. It was her aunt, and I think her grandmother or somebody like that. It was about 4 or 5 ladies that were trying to get to her after they took her off the court. But Destiny by far has played the best basketball out of anybody in the tournament from start to finish. She's a very talented young lady. Charles, I told you last year when you all came to Alabama A&M, I thought she was a remarkable athlete. And, man, she has really turned her game up, and she had a super game yesterday. And she's had a great tournament. And I just look forward to the championship game today. I was not able to stay. Charles, I got out of there yesterday afternoon after the men's game because of the threat of bad weather here in Huntsville. I had to get back to be with my family, but I'm going to be watching on television today. But Destiny, I hope she's able to play so all of America can see that young lady play.
And there have been times, guys, just the backstory of Destiny Brown, where Destiny Brown hasn't been Destiny Brown. There have been times in which Destiny Brown's just done clock in and come to work. But there was a time late in the season, we lost to Mississippi Valley. And I think from that moment on, I think that Destiny Brown has taken it upon herself to be the leader of this team. And I think the best thing that could have happened to Lady Braves basketball was losing to Mississippi Valley. For all the talk of beating the top dogs, we've beaten A&M now, we've beaten Jackson, we've beaten Texas Southern, we've beaten Southern. And I know people talk about those bad losses. Sure, you got to wear it, you got to own it. But I think you learn from that. And just to say that you can just show up and play and think you can win this year, just not happening. And so from that moment on, I think Destiny Brown has taken it upon herself. She's told Coach Kilbert, put it on my shoulders, I'm going to take us there. And you see what that's about. Now, we'll see from our health perspective. We'll see how that goes. But other players have stepped up. The Kia Cheatham has stepped up for us. Kiara Henderson, they call her Kiki, has stepped up. Everyone has stepped up to get us here again. And if we don't have Destiny or limited Destiny without Janae Anderson, a couple other players are going to have to step up. And, at this point, you're playing for a championship. This is what this is all about. I mean, of all the good coaches in this league, Nate Kilbert doesn't have a championship. He coached at UAPB, coached at Valley, coaches at Alcorn. And he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good guys. He gets along great with the other coaches. They love him. And I think this could be Nate Kilbert's time. Carlos Funches has a championship. And I can tell you this, Carlos, when I got to the arena Tuesday, one of Southern's assistant coaches that just happened to be sitting behind him, he said, hey, we got to figure out a way to beat Nate Kilbert. This is one of Southern's top assistants saying this. Like, we can't get by him. And so that was a fortuitous conversation. Like, of course, they had games. Southern still had games in front of them. This was Tuesday. But here we are. And so, we've been in their way. They've been in our way. So we'll see what happens.
On that note, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back on the men's side, Jackson State and Alabama State. And for those who have been secretly emailing me, they said, watch out for Alabama State. And they said, Wheeler, you may believe if they can pull it off, because, they said Wheeler is tough on Alabama State. But as we go to this break, Alabama State, 2 wins against Southern, albeit by 1 point, and one was the phantom call. They're in the championship. And one could say Jack State's been playing very well toward the end. It's all about the tournament going forward. And then Charles has talked to the commissioner. He has some information about that next year. We can't get too far ahead of next year. 12 teams? Hey, I'm on board. On board meaning I'm not on board. But a conference is 12 teams. It's going to be that. So we roll with it. So we'll have a conversation again. Maybe not on this show. Y'all convince me why the regular season will be, some would say, irrelevant. But I know it's for seating purpose and all that. But everybody will have a shot. Start next year. We'll be back. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
There's a shot.
That might be. It could be.
Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
All righty.
Trying to get Carlos back up and going.
Okay, hey, Charles, while we're waiting on Carlos, I was very impressed with the arena. I like the setup. The venue is what I'm talking about. You know, being in Atlanta, then I understand that we're going to be there for the next 5 years. I think that's a great location, especially for the people that have to fly in. You know, as soon as you get off your plane, you're right there. And they got plenty of hotel space right in the vicinity. I thought there were some great games that first day for the women, full of upsets.
Yeah.
All the higher seeds went down the first day.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to change next year with all 12 teams in the tournament, and that's the one thing that I was talking with the commissioner about. With those upsets, and the bracket's going to look different next year. I mean, we could talk about next year down the road, but the tournament being in Atlanta, I did interview the commissioner, and of course, at these championships, all the presidents do show up, and the commissioner has told me in an interview that all the presidents were pleased with the venue, pleased with it being in Atlanta. And for those who might not know, the arena is literally minutes from the airport, where you really don't need to rent a car. You can get off the plane, get on the train.
Yep.
Train will take you to an area of probably 5 or 6 hotels. You can catch an Uber and to go to wherever you want to go. And even I found out you can get back on the train, which is like a block or 2 from here, and go back to the airport, where they have a lot of eating places where you don't necessarily have to have a plane ticket. They have a lot of eating places if you choose to do that. So I think it's a very convenient situation, Carlos. It's going to be, as Coach Pettaway said, the next 5 years. And even with the bracket being the way it was, with the bottom 4 seeds, even though it's a one and done with that, I thought it was huge for a team like Florida A&M playing back-to-back days. Grambling, I thought they handled it well. They won back-to-back games, including beating Southern University. So I thought it was really intriguing, because Florida A&M could have made the path easier for them, and all they had to do was beat Bethune-Cookman last week. They would have avoided that 7th seed, but they didn't, and they had a harder road. And Carlos, the tournament next year is going to be on a Monday, and what that means is that the schedule is going to change next year. What that looks like, the commissioner said that has to be determined. You can only come up with a few scenarios. One of them could we be playing conference games in December to try to fit, because you want to give teams time to get to Atlanta. You don't want to play on a Saturday and then you're playing on a Monday. That's not going to happen. So I'm anxious to see how this schedule is going to look next year, as far as getting all the teams, all the games in, and getting to Atlanta and getting those seeds locked in.
Hey, Charles, if you end your season that Thursday, that will give everybody a chance to get to Atlanta for Monday. You know how we've been going Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
They could now. I think the 2 options they're gonna look at, you either end it on Thursday, or, as you say, the first week of the SWAC season is gonna start in December, when all of the schools are gonna be closed. Are gonna be on Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
And that won't look too pretty. Now, the other thing, and Carlos, I'll wait, because I wanted to talk about the men's side. I was very disappointed we did not see the Player of the Year compete in the tournament.
Yeah, and because I came back in, and I apologize. You're talking about Atlanta, and being there 5 years, correct?
Yeah.
The next 5 years. I just kind of looked at some, and I don't want to be the naysayer here. I was looking at some of the attendance, and I guess it's good to say it's during the week when people have things to do. Even locally in Atlanta, got a lot of alumni there, right, from participating. I'm just looking at Grambling and Southern the first round, 801. So I guess my question is the commissioner and them going to look at, after it's over, the attendance? Charles, did he say anything that he was pleased? Because I saw him on our network, Black College Sports Network, interviewing, and all of the ambiance and everything, he seemed to be very satisfied with. My question again is attendance. What are your thoughts about that? Is it about where you thought it would be, less, or it's still incomplete thinking about the attendance?
I just my own personal observation, what I thought it would be. I thought with those 17 games, I thought it would be. I didn't think, man, I never got that thought. No, I didn't. I knew it wasn't going to be full house, but based on the fact that there were those 7-10 matchups, I thought it would be what it would be. I mean, this is the first game of a new venue, new site. I think that for what I saw, just with my 4.5 eyes, I thought it was okay.
Right.
As it went along, and I'm gonna add the new car smell into it because it is new, you know, and it's new. And the commissioner did say, look, and I know there's some people out there, and I think he kind of got on me a little bit, but you know, there's some people who believe that these championships should be in the SWAC footprint, meaning that the states that SWAC schools are in. And he basically said, get over it. Those days are gone. You know, we're going to go to where the fans are. You got the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta. You got the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. We've had the baseball championships in Atlanta. Atlanta seems to be the place where the SWAC is wanted and vice versa. So this is where we are. And so, I mean, I get it. I'm older. I'm older than most. You know, I've seen these championships bounce around. We know they've been from Garland, Texas, Texas Southern, all the way across the eastern part. But it seems like Atlanta, as Coach Pettaway said, the next several years it'll be there. And I think because of the accessibility from the airport, teams can fly in. And, you know, they had a big sound stage outside last night. Come to the games and go dance around on the stages right in the arena parking lot. Just try to keep the ambience going. Thought that was really good. That was a good idea. So, you know, you got to build it, and it's just year one of it. But I was satisfied. The crowds yesterday were great. I thought the crowd 2 days ago were great. But the 7-10 game, you're probably not going to get as many because of the time, and people have to work, as you mentioned. But I was okay with it. I didn't just come out saying, man, this place is a desert. I never did get that. That never did come through my mind. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It seems like
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It seems like the 7 to 10, right? Because they're lower seeds, correct? Let's just put it out there. You know, we can't dodge it. So for next year, all 12 teams, do you believe that there should be like some conferences have a double bye if everybody comes in?
Yeah, that's what I have.
The regular season champion. Oh, there's that term, regular season champion. Coach Pettaway and Wheeler. It's still important. It's still important.
Very important.
But all 12 teams, boy, I got to get used to that. I mean, you know, I believe in rewarding the teams that have done the best during the regular season, been consistent. But it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be on board, you know.
The first couple of days going to be the first couple of days. I mean, regardless, you know, it's going to be always going to be difficult to get a good crowd in there on those first couple of days. You know, most people, you know, they're going to work those first 2 days, and they may take off Wednesday through Friday or what have you, that sort of thing. So, you know, I mean, I don't know that there's going to be much you're going to be able to do, you know, outside of bussing in high school kids and, you know, all the little things that, you know, you can have to go along with the tournament in and of itself, you know, in order to get the attendance up those first few days. But outside of that, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Wheeler Brown, you sound like you were here in Atlanta, because that's exactly what happened these first couple of days. You had a lot of yellow buses here. You were exactly right. And so I think they did exactly that to try to drum up attendance. And I think it worked. I mean, I think the live DJs, you had Shaquille O'Neal was here. I think I'll say Kenny Smith was here. Yes, I didn't see Kenny Smith, but I mean, you're trying to get the stars out. Shaq was here. So, I mean, sitting next to the commissioner. So I think they're trying to do all those little things. They were giving away $10,000 for a half-court shot. Shaq donated $5. I think Dr. McClellan of the SWAC donated $5. I don't know how that, I know Shaq gave $5 for sure. Yeah. But you know, they're just trying some different types of things. I like the venue. You know, we played at NBA arenas. You know, they put the curtains up. We've gone there. But I think this, with alumni bases big in Atlanta, the deeper the teams run, I think you're going to have more and more. Even today, a lot of folks are coming from Mississippi. I mean, my phone's been blowing up. You know, once we won yesterday, people are on their way to Atlanta right now. And so I think that's kind of what it's about. And, you know, I know Jaguar Nation was here. Jaguar Nation was supporting Coach Bunches and Jags yesterday. Maybe a few more will fly in today. Who knows? Jackson State folks are here. Alabama State's only 160-some miles from Atlanta. You know, they're going to be here. So I think it's going to be a good turnout for this championship game. And I'm just going to take a wait-and-see approach on it. You know, I think we're going to be in Atlanta for a while, and I'm just waiting to see how it's going to turn out at the end.
Yeah, Carlos, it was a great atmosphere, man. I enjoyed it. And then yesterday, I got a chance to laugh at myself. They had what was the guy named 2 Chainz? See, I'm not good with the rap stuff. But anyway, there was a guy.
I can help you.
Carlos, they let these people perform, right? So this guy, this rapper, man, he was just going. He had the crowd just going everywhere. I looked over at Hall. I said, man, you know, I ain't hear nothing he said. I didn't understand anything the guy was saying. But everybody in the stands, man, they were engaged. So the SWAC is doing things. They're making it more than just a basketball game.
Making it an event.
Yeah, they're making it an event. They had the concert stage set up out on the parking lot. So they're doing things to draw people. Now, somewhere while I was there, I was told that there are 43 HBCU alumni chapters in the Atlanta area. Mm-hmm. Now, if that's the case, that would be a good place for us to start with to get the attendance going. You know, I think one of the things that the SWAC should look at, they should send out letters in advance to all the alumni chapters, informing them, giving them the schedule of what's going on, when the teams are playing. And I think that will help. And those the high school and the elementary kids that came to those games, man, they had a blast. They had a great time, and it was nice. So I like where we are. I like the fact that it's in the venue is the right size for what we're doing.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm supporting it. You know, certain questions you just have to ask and you know, put it out there. It's the elephant in the room. With that being said, Jackson State and Alabama State. Then we're going to circle back to the predictions for Southern and Alcorn State women. Coach Pettaway, Wheeler, Charles, who wins the game between Jackson State and Alabama State today?
I'm going to be honest now. I think this is going to be a toss-up. Both of these teams are playing well coming down the last couple of weeks of the season. Alabama State, their defense, and with Knox getting downhill, they're playing exceptional basketball. Then when you look at Jackson State, you look at what Ruffin is doing, Manziel, and then Lord have mercy, the Mountain Man. When you look at what Grant is doing, they're playing outstanding basketball. I really think that if Jackson State can get off to a good start, I think they win this tournament.
Wheeler?
I'm going to go with Jackson State. I know I've been hard on Alabama State.
Well, that's all right, Wheeler. You've been
over the course of the year, and that's okay. You know, for me, it's about consistency. For me, it's about matching the budgetary expectations, that sort of thing. And so if it seems like I've been tough on Alabama State, it's probably because I think in comparison to the dollars spent, you know, they have probably underachieved. But, I mean, they're in the championship game right now. More power to them, that sort of thing. Does that mean that I open the wallet even further and, you know, look toward the future, that sort of thing? No, I got to find out why we can't get this on a consistent basis based off of the dollars that are put into the programs. But I'm going to go with Jackson State today. You know, I think Mo, and I've been critical of him also, you know, but he's done a decent job over the course of the year in terms of getting that team ready for, you know, this particular moment, that sort of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see which one goes over the top, but I'm going to go with JSU today.
Charles?
You talk about pushing your chips all in. You know, if you look at this Jackson State team last year, they had Colty Young, Player of the Year, Ken Evans. Of course, Ruffin was hurt, tore his knee. And so what did Mo Williams do? Those kids hit the transfer portal. He gutted that roster, and he rebuilt it. You know, Manziel was there. Then Shannon Grant, the FAMU transfer, came in. Jackson State is long, man.
Yeah.
And I think if Ruffin gets going, but I think it's inside out with them. If Shannon Grant and Manziel get going, and then that packs it inside, and you leave Ruffin and those other shooters, I think it could be a long day for Alabama State. So if I was a betting man, I would bet on Jackson. Jackson's kind of grown on me. Not to say I was ever against Jackson or anything, but they just kind of grew on me, especially down the stretch. Now, Alabama State's playing with house money. Nobody expect them to be here, but they're one of the better three-point shooting teams. And against us, they were a shot rimming in and out away from beating us at Alcorn. They beat FAMU twice. They're really, really good from beyond the arc. And if they get hot and they push those bigs out, Alabama State could be right there. But I think pound for pound, player for player, I'm gonna go with Jackson State. And for Mo Williams, for all the talk of Mo Williams, what he did do at Alabama State, Ashley Robinson bringing him over to Jackson State, a lot of people scratching their heads on that hire. You know, if they kind of overachieved. You know, if they don't win the SWAC championship, okay, they'll be disappointed. But who expected Jackson to be here? And if they do, then Ashley Robinson, that's just one more notch in his cap, because that was a very interesting hire. But I got Jackson State, winning this. I just think they just got too many pieces, and I think that interior is going to be key. If they get productivity from Manziel as well as Shannon Grant, I think it's going to be for Alabama State.
I guess I'm a traditionalist. I've kind of been back and forth on this. Alabama State's been playing well. Jackson State. Also, when teams rely so much on three-point shooting, to me it comes and goes. And just kind of looking at some of the stats for this tournament, I think it's down for the three-point shooting overall, as a team. So who can establish the inside? Who can defend well on the perimeter? Who wins the hustle board? I'm going to go with Jackson State because they've been playing very well, but by no means I think it's going to be a tough ball game. And it won't be a double-digit win. Now, guess what? If that does happen, I'll come back and say I was wrong. But, Jackson State, but Alabama State, hey, they're not going to roll over.
Right. Carlos, they had two big scoring drops yesterday. Alabama State did. You cannot do that against Jackson State. You can't have those long scoring drops. And now for Alabama State, CJ Hines, he's got to get downhill. See, when Knox and Hines are getting downhill, and then you throw in Matlock, that gives Alabama State the balance that they need. That's their inside game, off the bounce, getting in the paint. And then the big boy has been playing well for them. Charles Ocon was big yesterday. He was a man-child down there. Now, he physically can match up better with Grant, but he doesn't get a lot of minutes. I think Alabama State is going to have to utilize him a lot more today because they got Walker, but Walker needs some more biscuits in his pocket, man. He's 6'10", but he's only about 100. No, he's not even 200 pounds, I don't think. So going up against Grant and Manziel, that's a difficult ask of him. So they're gonna have to get UConn on the floor more to help out because he does have the size.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna pick now. Willie Bolton. You're in that chat room. You would love that guy with who needs some more biscuits.
Oh,
and Coach, you addressed that in previous shows about, they always contact me about in the SWAC we need the 7-footer, the 6'11" guys. Well, they're not that many in there, but you addressed that. Now I'm picking that with William, a big man, but I would just want solid play all over. And Coach Johnson just texted me back. Still have work to do. That's the right attitude. That's the right attitude. Southern women and Alcorn State women. I'm gonna go last. Coach Pettaway.
Well, I'm going with Southern. I'm going with Southern because I think they have more depth, and I'm not sure about the availability of Destiny Brown. I do not believe that Alcorn can match up with Southern University without Destiny Brown being 100%. So I'm going with Southern.
Wheeler?
If both teams were at 100%, I may have leaned towards Alcorn, but that not being the case, I think I got to go with Southern on this one. I think they, will make up for any bad feelings that people have for the men right now, and go ahead and take it over the top.
Right. And Carlos, do we really have to ask Tall Man Radio who he's going for?
No. And a little history, Charles, and Charles knows this. Alcorn State has, on the women's side, have always played Southern tough. You can go back in the day when Coach Pugh was there. Some great teams. Alcorn always played them tough. And then earlier this year, Alcorn took down Southern University at the F.G. Clark Activity Center. So I'm not going to use James Brown, the big payback. Destiny Brown could play or she could not play. If I'm a player and I'm a competitor, I want this. I want this game. I want to prove that, hey, you've had success against us, but today is a different day. Now, if Southern loses this ball game, I'm still behind Coach Funches 200%, Coach Graves 200%, and Coach Kevin Johnson 200%. Look, you got to get it if you don't get it done, but I'll give my bold prediction. Southern University will take care of Alcorn on the women's side. Go ahead, Charles.
They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
Enough said. Enough said.
Hey,
no.
that's it. Oh, wait a minute. Here's Brian Fuller. If there's the Browns playing Alcorn State, a plus 8.5 on the money line.
Wow.
Brian, I don't care about that. And guess what? Some of them will probably say she should play at all, get a uniform. The health of Destiny Brown is much more important than getting a win. I said that, but maybe I should step back and don't say any more because some smart guy's going to say, oh, he wants Destiny not to play.
Right. Hey, Charles, what was Destiny's stat line like the last time they played Southern?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have to pull that up.
Well, you know what?
I think she's playing much better toward the end of the season in the tournament because I know she had some issues Charles talked about away from the team. But but I want to see what to compare. I want to see how big of an impact she was against Southern.
13 points and 8 rebounds.
Right. That's what I thought. That's about average.
Right.
And they still won. So I'm concerned. I got a scheme for Destiny Brown. But you know what? There are other players on that team as well.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
I saw what they did at home. Now, somebody might say, Charles, Southern was a little, smelling themselves or overlooking them. Traditionally, you shouldn't have.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, if Destiny Brown's not 100%, no Janae Anderson, Nakia Cheatham is going to have to step up and get to the basket. We call her Kiki. She's the Energizer buddy. She wears number 24. Kiara Henderson is going to have to give us. I mean, everyone else is going to have to step up. In that first meeting, Ashani Backus is probably going to start with no Janae Anderson. Ashani Backus gave us 7 points. She's kind of our quarterback. She runs our offense. But the other person that has stepped up is a kid named Marine Iake Polor, kid from Canada. She had big points yesterday, especially from beyond the arc. She's going to have to continue that. But, when you talk to the players, when you talk to the coaches, it's disappointing you don't have Destiny. We haven't been healthy all year. It's the next person up. At this point, you come too far. You come too far to let this slip through your fingers. And so I think Southern wants Alcorn and Alcorn wants Southern, and here we go. I mean, I do think the first team to 60 wins. We won 59-55 in that first meeting. If it's 59-55 again today, the Lady Braves win. If it's 49-45, Southern wins. And I think that's Southern wants to keep it low. But I think if the Lady Braves can push the pace a little bit, I think they'll have a shot.
Right.
Now, but Coach Pettaway, I was looking at the game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Southern's defense has been pretty darn good all season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like two defensive teams going at it.
Yeah.
Well, they held Jackson State to 27% shooting. So if you want to know the storyline, one of the storylines of the game yesterday, Jackson State was 13 of 47. They were 27% shooting. Now, Southern shot 33%, which is not great, but I think their defense, Jackson won the battle of the boards, plus 11, 40-29. So, and Jackson with 17 turnovers. I think those were the three big storylines in that game.
Jay Lawson says Alcorn will have to play more into their offense. Trying to hold the ball and run the clock won't work, especially without Brown.
Right. And Carlos, when they played Alabama A&M, man, they were all over the place, man. Alcorn got all up in my Lady Bulldogs, man, and turned them every which way but loose.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what that's called, Coach Pettaway?
And see, now, Carlos, we lost, right? Coach Brown had, Coach Thornton had an outstanding season. And I went to her after the game and still told her that we still support her. She and her staff have done an outstanding job. First year, 21 wins. The fans that came to Atlanta were disappointed that we lost, but we're still behind her. We're still behind her because they can build on what they did this year.
Right. And see, Carlos, that makes sense to me.
A word to the wise. You know, coaches need to be wary about putting their names out there on every opening that becomes available. You know, because it at some point makes your home situation not as stable as it probably could be or should be, that sort of thing. You know, we as athletic administrators, you know, we kind of take note of, you know, if my coach is putting his name out there for every job that comes by, you know, is he telling me he don't really want to be here with me? You know, and is that going to influence me as an administrator in terms of how I'm going to treat this coach moving forward from a contractual point of view? Is the lease a little shorter now? You know, if he should have a bad year, you know, am I going to reflect on the fact that, well, you know, last year he was trying to get out of here and all that sort of thing. So, you know, let me go ahead and, you know, pull the trigger and make that change, that sort of thing. So coaches need to be wary of that. Not to say that you don't look at advantageous situations, because there may be some situations out there that are better than the situation that you're in. But at the same time, you want to be respectful about it. You want to be mindful about it. You know, you want to be wary of how it's going to affect everyone, you know, especially if you don't have an inroad to that next job.
Right. And Wheeler, to your point, I've worked for athletic director. One athletic director was like this, and one president was like this. Guess what they said? You can go apply for a job, or you can put your name out there, but you better get it. You better get it. You better get it, because no, I'm serious. We had a president that said Alabama A&M has everything you need and want. So if you think you need to go apply for another job, you better get it, because we're gonna bring somebody else in.
Well, that's a perfect point. And by the way, I love Brian Fulford. He checked on me, a wellness check for Carlos Brown after that upset. We'll share a private moment when we be back together, Brian, in person. But I'm fine. At this point, let's take a break. When we come back, there are things out there, and Will, you kind of hinted on it. Coach Pettaway, you share some things with me. Charles has shared some things about coaching maneuvers, and boy, I don't know. This climate, man, and when I say climate, I mean this sports climate. Sometimes you don't know how well you have it. And then you got to go tinker around and mess with it. I'm reminded of a song, Ain't No Use of Going Home. Jody's got your gal to go. You remember that?
Yeah.
Even I have to step back and reflect. So give them their flowers while they're here. Nothing's promised. Charles talked about the porter, people leaving, people coming in. You know, it's just the climate, sports climate that we have now. And I think we need to all just step back and just breathe in and breathe out for a second. And then look at what you got. There's also a saying, you remember this? A dog has a bone in his mouth and he sees his reflection in the water. He has one bone, but because he's greedy, he wants two. And he ends up with what? Zero. That's a lesson to be learned. We'll take a time out. When we come back, we'll talk about some of those things out there within professionalism. We'll be back. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loot machine.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Make sure to check us out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on Black College Sports Network, YouTube, and Linktree. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
All righty. Carlos. I think Carlos is frozen again. I think he was going to talk about, well, I'll wait for him to come back. But
we can talk about it.
Did not discuss was the fact that Young did not play. And I think we finally found out that he's injured. Do you know the nature of his injury, Charles? What's hurt on it?
I don't know the nature of it. I did talk to somebody about it, and they said that he was injured and he didn't even make the trip here to Atlanta. But it was key. It was key for FAMU. But I also think FAMU has to blame themselves too, because I think that even though their season is over, they had to take the tough road. If they won last Saturday, they'd be a 6th seed, and they'd be looking at Bethune-Cookman again. And who knows? Who knows in that situation? So, we'll see. I mean, Carlos, we talk about coaches. There's a lot of things out there, as far as that's concerned, in terms of how things are going to look for 2026.
Whispers in the wind. I could call that segment also. You remember I said March Madness or Madness in March? I'm sorry to think it's Madness in March, because some of the things that you're hearing, coaches in the conference moving across the conference to another situation, and I'm going to be professional about this. Professionalism, that's me. Alabama A&M has I think everything that you need. A new arena, a AD that doesn't play. Gonna have a new football coach starting. Baseball coach got out with some early good wins.
Yeah.
But yet here we go again. The culture, the sports culture. Coach Pettaway, you got some fans that are not satisfied. Now, we often joke about the Carlos Brown 2-year contracts. Coach Pettaway, I was in error. I thought Coach Wrigley just completed his second year. Is his third year now, right?
Right. Yes.
Just from the outside looking in, you gotta still give this guy an opportunity, to be successful. Then you're hearing whispers of a prominent coach who some people call the Southern University killer. I just gave that one away, right? Sliding over. Where's this madness coming from? Where's this madness coming from? I call it madness.
Right, it is madness, because just think about it. Here we are talking about coaching change, and there's not an opening yet. There's not an opening anywhere. There is not an opening anywhere that we are aware of now. There's not an opening. So why are people? I think during this time of the year, people just like to talk about different scenarios to hear themselves talk. There's not an opening in this conference that I'm aware of. As of this morning.
Good point. And I think a lot of it comes because of the word disappointment.
Right.
And let's just be real about that. That's why I say you step back and look at if your team is home their season's over with, let's look back. Now, there's one thing about constructive criticism. I'm not saying that you can't criticize, but let's be real about it. And some of the, expectations, another word we use.
Right.
And Charles, should I be down? Should the Jaguar Nation be disappointed?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's madness when you talk as if this Southern basketball team won 8 or 10 games. And mind you, do we have to go back to the non-conference games? And what they have to do? No, Will, I'm not going to go on you. I'm not going to go at you. So let's put it in perspective, man. So is it March Madness, which we know lower teams win, hit last second shots. They do it all. We fill out those brackets, which I'm not doing this year. The heck with that. I'm not doing it. I'm not having my heart broke in the first round again. Or is it madness in March? And again, expectations.
But, and Carlos, sometimes those things are put out by people in power in order to be able to test the temperature of, how people may feel if this should happen, if that should happen, that sort of thing. So, you sometimes you gotta be wary of where it's coming from, because like I said, sometimes people in power put those things out there, just float them around to try to test the temperature of the fan base and that sort of thing. Well, what would happen if I decided to make this particular move, or if that particular person came over here, or something like that. Sometimes people just float that stuff out there just to see how people would react to it, that sort of thing.
Right. And Carlos, one of the most disturbing things that I heard while I was in Atlanta was that Coach Crary at FAMU had not signed his contract. Now if that's right, I heard that and I was like, wait a minute. And I hope that's not true, because he had an outstanding year. He did. I know he exceeded a lot of people's expectations, and he seems to be a nice guy. I hope that's not true, and I hope he has been given an extension and he does sign it, because I think he'd be he's good. He's a good fit for the SWAC with his style of coaching and his style of play.
And Charles? It may be something that's not in it, Coach Pettaway. If he hadn't signed it, it may be something that he wanted included in it, or it might still be some things under negotiation, that sort of thing. And, or he may have felt that, I'm going to wait until after the season is over with, let the dust clear, that sort of thing, so I can do this with a sane mind. And, I mean, probably could be various reasons why, outside of, I don't know, the scuttlebutt that may be out there, from a negative point of view. But like you said, he's earned it. There's no doubt about that. And, he's earned the right to kind of dictate some terms as it goes along with it.
Well, maybe Brian Fulford pulled the contract back. Maybe that's what happened.
Well, Carlos, I will say this, just based on the stuff that I've heard while I'm here. It's a combination of fandom and facts and frustration.
Give me the facts.
I mean, the facts are the record. You have one coach that hasn't won, that hasn't played. Their team hasn't played at a high level in the last 4 years. That's a fact.
Who would that be? I'm acting like I'm a guest just watching.
If you want to go there, all right, obviously Coach Smith at Prairie View. Landon Busty was the lead assistant there. And when he was a lead assistant, Prairie View was in the, as Wheeler Brown says, in the upper thirds. They were deep running the tournament. And Landon Busty was the lead assistant. Coach Smith made no bones about that. And ever since he left, it's been kind of a struggle for him. So for Coach Smith, the frustration of fans are like, is it time? Is it time? Is it time to do something different? Could it be that with some of these coaches that have been in place and haven't won, could it be the fact that they have another year on their contract? And I've said this on the show. They're coaches that are in these places solely because they can't afford to be bought out. If the school could buy them out, they would. But they can't or won't. It's willing and able. Some schools are willing, some aren't able, some aren't willing, some are both. So you have situations there. Because when you have another year or 2 years left, you gotta pay it out, or you can reassign a coach, or it's all kinds of ways you can do it. So that's one in particular. And as Coach Pettaway said, there's no openings right now, but I'm sure there's frustration in Huntsville in terms of what's happening with Alabama A&M basketball. New arena, new AD. Anytime you get that, Carlos, it feels like it's a brand new program. It feels like it's a brand new program when you're playing in a new building. So you got Don Brown there, had a solid year, disappointing end. But now the last couple of years at Alabama A&M, now they pull off the upset. They beat Alcorn last year in the tournament. But this year, you're in the bottom thirds for Coach Hewley. I don't know what people are saying about that situation. But, Dr. Bryant knows some coaches now. He's hired one guy that's coaching in this conference, right now. He's hired him twice. Not saying there's an opening, but I'm sure there's some frustration in Huntsville there. So, you have to look at that situation.
For the record, I do believe in tampering. And somebody's close to tampering.
You say you believe in it, Carlos. Carlos, you believe in tampering?
No, I'm sorry. I believe there is a thing called tampering. Whoop.
Oh, yes.
Thanks a lot, Coach Pettaway, for saving me. No, I don't believe in tampering. But those who do that, I'm sorry. You shouldn't do that.
If a coach is under contract, I'm not going in that. I'm not going in that direction. Now, if his contract is up, then he becomes fair game, or she becomes fair game. And if I like what that coach is doing and think it will be a fit for what I'm doing over here, and that coach's contract is up, that sort of thing.
Different scenario.
Respectfully, I'm gonna make a play. Respectfully.
Different scenario, Wheeler, though. You said the key.
So Wheeler,
no longer under contract.
So Wheeler, you're saying that as an athletic director, you would not call another AD and ask permission to talk to their coach?
Not if that coach is under contract, Coach. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I think you gotta have some scruples about you.
No. Hey, but Wheeler, I thought the scruples come in when you ask permission, whether he's under his contract is in it or not. In other words,
if his contract is over, Coach, then he's fair game.
Right, he's a free agent. But what I'm saying is, if I'm under contract and I'm a good fit for your program, you won't call my AD and say, "Do I have permission to talk to Pettaway?"
No, not gonna do that. Not gonna do that.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, Will up. Not, man, I'm mad now. Damn, to ask permission to talk.
But I want you to understand, Coach. I want you to understand that if it comes a time when you become available, okay, that I have a short list and that you're at the top of that short list, So that part is not going to be a secret at all. But if you're under contract, I'm not gonna tamper. I'm not gonna tamper like that.
Right. Well, no. The tampering would be if you did it under the table. I think that the proper way to do it, and if I was in the ADC and I saw a coach that I wanted to talk to see, I think he's a good fit for my program, he or she, I would call the athletic director and say, "Do I have permission to talk?" Ask for permission to talk to that coach. And then now the AD tells me no, it's over with. But if they say I can talk to them, I don't care if they got 2 or 3. If you haven't put a buyout in there, if you haven't put a buyout in that contract, I'm going to talk to that coach.
Well, I think that's a game changer too. I think the buyout is. I think the buyout is a game.
Yes.
We're not. And one thing someone told me just the other day, we ain't buying out contracts in SWAC. That's not happening.
HBCU wise, they ain't buying.
Right, exactly.
What happened is if they want to get rid of you, they'll just put you in another position on campus. Come on, we've seen it happen. Not one school. I'm going to mention it in the name because people joke and laugh. You're paying 2 coaches.
Right.
Now, this school happens to have the biggest budget. So what? I think watch it, Will. Watch it.
Money that could be going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Bingo. Now, but the whole issue I brought up was tampering. We don't know if they asked for permission, but the whispers in the wind are that one school has that eye candidate looking for somebody else.
Yeah.
Just be careful with that. That's all I'm gonna say.
And like I said, sometimes, Carlos, those whispers are coming from people in power. Don't think that it's all the time. It's the street committee that's throwing it out there.
Point well taken.
I mean, maybe 85% of the time it may be the street committee throwing it around, tossing it around, but there's that 15% there, that is coming from places of higher power.
Point well taken.
Right.
Carlos,
And Carlos, I think you had I'm sorry. You had a question. Who's the longest tenured coach in the SWAC? That would be Byron Smith at Prairie View.
Yeah.
On the men's side now.
And that came from Brian Fulford.
On the women's side, it would be Frida. I'm sorry, Coach Jackson.
Well, right, that's true. Well, let's talk about it. Frida hadn't had a good 4 or 5 years.
Oh no! I was just saying she's the longest tenure.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's right. I agree. But let's look at her overall body of work without having it right in front of us. Yes, she's had some success, a lot of success, right? Yes, finger up. Yes, okay.
Yes.
Lean times the last few years. Now, will Dr. Cable and all those of influence, so far they're still sticking with her. Does she have a right to try to turn things around based on her overall record? That's the question.
You throwing that out there now?
Yeah, Lord, throwing it out there. From an administrative standpoint, where you at, Willa? In the crosshairs?
I would have to look at the last 5 years or so and see where we are, because that's more of an indicator of immediate success. So if she's been there 15 years, her first 10 have been great. Her last 5 have not been great. Then I got to kind of look at that last 5 as being an indicator moving forward. Hopefully we've had the discussion in terms of, what is it that's necessary in order to get it back to where it used to be, that sort of thing. Hopefully, I've given her everything possible in order to make it happen. And if it's still just not happening, then, it comes a point in time when we got to look at the possibility of making a change.
Here's what I was told on Frida's situation. She's a proud coach. She don't want to go out this way. And when you talk about recent years, it has not been good. She don't want to go out not making the tournament.
But Charles, do I spend the next 6-7 years trying not to go out the way you want to go out?
I get it. Yeah, that is a very good point. But that's just the scuttlebutt I'm hearing about it. I saw her at the tournament. She's probably here, but that's just what I've heard, that she's a proud coach and she's been around the block 20 times and she don't want to go out this way. This is what I've been told. Now, I don't know what her contract looks like. That I don't know, but they kind of let Lewis Jackson go, her husband, after a successful run, but he had some lean years and you saw what happened there, unfortunately. But Frida don't want to go out this way. This is kind of what I've been told. And I will also add on the men's side that I think even though there's no openings, in my opinion, once one domino starts to drop, it's going to be a domino effect, in my opinion. We don't have a domino to drop quite yet. I mean, the season has just ended for some 24, 48, 72 hours ago. Some seasons ended on Saturday. But
give it about a week. Give it about a week.
Yeah. I mean, contracts are not up for some. I can say it all, Corn. Basketball contracts are up the last day of the working month with your season. So, for example, our men's and women's basketball coaches are up at the end of March. Football is at the end of December. So, I mean, not saying anything's going to happen there, but I'm just saying that's the way it's not at all, Corn. So my guess is within the next 2 to 3 weeks, there'll be conversations had, and we'll see. I mean, Coach Pugh, for example, I mean, she got a game in the tournament, but there's been talk there. I like Coach Pugh. You've heard stuff there around that situation, and so we'll see what happens there at Prairie View.
Well, Arkansas Pine Bluff on the men's side, they're you hear all these rumors, man, but I don't think anything's going to happen until most of the time is after the tournament, which ends today. So starting next week, I think if changes are going to take place, you start seeing some movement.
Yeah, Coach Bozeman has kind of been there, but it's been a struggle. And I've just been told about UAPB situation. Unless there's something egregious that has happened, they're just not in the business of firing coaches. They'll let the contract run out before they get rid of you with years left on your contract. They'll just let it play out. I don't know what kind of contract Bozeman has. I mean, his team has been right there. All they had to do is beat Alcorn. They'd be in the tournament. And then you're in the tournament. Who knows what might have happened? But, Coach Bozeman's had the pieces, but it just hasn't translated into enough wins to kind of get him to that next tier, which is at least making the tournament.
Right. And then at Mississippi Valley for the women, you keep hearing different things about the previous coach coming back, the interim coach. It's going to be over with, today or whatever. There are all kind of rumors out there, and we don't know what's what. We don't know it's hard to find the truth from rumors.
I tell you what, it seems like Atlanta is a hotbed for the whispers.
That's because that's where everybody is.
Yeah.
She's there. Right. Frida is there. I talked to her yesterday. She's been there all week. In fact, her whole staff has been there. I've seen their entire staff there. But this is normal. This is when the rumors start. And then if you look on the Power 5 level, as soon as their tournament is over with or their game is over with, they start making decisions. You've already seen coaches, they do their post-game press conference. A couple of hours later, you find out that now the decision has been made. You've been let go. That kind of stuff. So this is the time of year for men and women's basketball that the carousel will start moving.
I guarantee you there are some coaches sitting in the stands here in Atlanta that are looking for the next opportunity. They keep up with what's going on. They pull up the records. They have contacts with ADs and administrators. All that relationship track is alive and well. So some of these folks sitting in the stands that may not be coaching, looking to get back in the SWAC or just looking to get there, they know. And so you hear this stuff, and whether it's the SWAC championship game or whether it's the SWAC basketball tournament, people are baseball tournament. I've seen former baseball coaches try to look for a crumb or two to try to get back in it. So these things happen all the time, and it's not surprising. It may be a little more obvious now, but it's been happening forever and a day, and I'm just I'm not surprised. It's just a lot of movement. I mean. And look, I've talked to former ADs, and Wheeler, you can speak to this, that have told me that when your coach is winning, other people are going to come after him. And so as a AD, you got to have a short list. And so, I mean, you just never know. A coach just might leave and go other places. It might be family reasons or whatever. But at any point in time, any AD, I've talked to our AD, he understands. Landon Bussey has been very good for this program. Last couple of years has been a struggle, but you look at where the program was before he took it over. Number 6 seed, year 1, 2 regular season titles, a number 2 seed. And a lot of people have told me this week, this team, based on new coaches, 13 new players, was Landon Bussey's best coaching job. A number of people told me that over the last several days. So I think Landon Bussey's name is being discussed out there as well. I mean, I think he likes it here. I mean, I know he likes it at Alcorn. Young coach. And I think he's got some things going here. But, people are looking at him. Fiery, passionate, former players have told me, I want to play for a guy like Landon. These are guys that don't even play anymore. Just watching Coach Bussey's intensity, his passion, his emotion. I want to play for that guy. A number of former players have told me that. So, but Landon Bussey is well-liked. And he's doing well at Alcorn. But, when you do well, other people are looking at you. So we'll see how that evolves.
Well, I see the other, just from the outside looking in, that's why I just don't understand why some are so disappointed looking at his body of work. Coach Pettaway, you've had seasons where it goes like that.
Right.
And you just, but you roll your sleeves up and you can't wait to get back in it. Soon as the season's over, I'm already thinking about next year, how I can get better. Again, I just think we should be realistic with some of our expectations and our demands as fans. Now I see why y'all deserve you want that high contract there from an administrative standpoint, because you got to deal with a lot of stuff. It's I want to know somebody's behind me. Well, as long as we're doing fine and good, they're all behind you. Can I get you a cup of coffee? You're out in public. Let me buy that dinner for you. I'll take care of that, Coach Pettaway. And then the minute it doesn't go right, you're gone.
Right. But everything that happens this time of the year is not always bad. Yeah, you're gonna hear the coaching rumors, you got all that stuff. But I'm gonna tell you something that I really enjoyed: being in Atlanta, seeing everybody in person. I saw just about everybody with Black College Sports Network. I've seen people that I have not seen since last year. The tournament atmosphere is where it's at.
Yeah.
And so everything is not negative. There's a lot of positive things that come out this time of the year. And I think that more of the fans and stuff, they need to focus up more on positive things than negative things. How can I help our team get better? What does our team, what plan does our coach have for getting our team better? If you were disappointed in your season, what can you do to help change that? Not always looking at the negative side of things. There's some great things. There were some great storylines this year in the SWAC. You look at that women's basketball side, look at what Thornton did. Look at what Coach Richards did. Look what Coach Skeet did. And then, of course, you got the regular. Okay, look at what Alcorn has done. So, see, there are a lot of positive things that can come out of what's going on in the SWAC, in SWAC basketball. Then on the men's side, you got the same thing. Look at what Reggie Theus has done with Bethune-Cookman since he's been there, man. Carlos, I can't say enough about what Coach Johnson has done there. Look what Coach Matlock has done at Alabama State. There are a lot of positive things that are happening in the SWAC, but for some reason, we always want to try to talk about the negative stuff. Forget that sometime.
Speaking of that, Coach Pettaway, let's go back in the chat room here.
Okay.
Willie Bolden, I got to meet him. Carlos, Duke fans not talking with that defeatist tone. Oh, my. Defeatist tone? Me? Carlos Brown, not the defeatist. I try to be consistent. I give praise when praise is due. Constructive criticism is good. It helps you to stay on spot. But defeatist, no. And also, Coach Pettaway, on our Christmas wish list, can we give Mr. Bolden a 6'11", 7-foot center, 260 pounds plus?
That's his 260.
Athletic.
But now, is he going to be in the post or is he going to play on the perimeter now?
if we know Coach Johnson and we know Coach Pettaway, he's going to be in the post.
Yes, sir. He would be.
Not on the perimeter like that European style that you see.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. I love you. I love you. I love you, Mr. Bolden.
Well, Carlos, some of this stuff is, look, the season's been over for what, 24, 48 hours. And and fandom is what it is. Fans, when your team doesn't get to the Super Bowl, when your team doesn't win it all, there's going to be fandom is frustration. So I respect both opinions. I respect all opinions. I respect the frustration when your team doesn't get there. but I also respect the other side of it as well that demands a little bit more because you won the regular season. That doesn't qualify you to win the whole thing, but it's just Southern played so well for so long, and the expectation was that they would at least have a deeper run. I think if they got to the semifinals and lost, I think a lot of people would say, job well done. There would be hardly any negative comments there. Probably be a few.
Some will. The ones that contact me.
But to get knocked out in the first round, considering all of that, I think that's Carlos. That's just we can agree to disagree. I just think that's just
we're gonna agree to disagree.
In reality, you get frustrated because when you're on top, when you're the number one seed, most times you don't expect to get knocked out in game one. And
it's happened before. It
has happened before.
This is something new that just happened.
No, but I just think that based on what Southern has done, based on how well they played, and yeah, you can look at the last two games against the Alabama teams at home. You know, I don't know if they lost their edge or just the Alabama teams played well. I don't know. But
can we give Grambling State congratulations in the tournament?
Absolutely.
Give Alabama State congratulations.
Absolutely.
For winning twice by 1 point.
Yeah.
You know, you see, I'm not going to use the word respect. I'm going to say I understand your frustration, but then at that point, let's go on, move on. There were more positive than negative, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It's what have you done for me lately? Attitude. I understand that, but I just don't agree with that. Now that's just the fan part of me, you know. And we keep saying, well, but you know, they got knocked out in the first round. Charles, it wouldn't matter to some. They could have got to the championship and lost.
Yeah.
It still would have been the same thing. You should have won the championship. So, do you trade a regular season championship? Oh boy, I'm asking this question. I know the answer. Do you exchange that for a tournament championship? It's because what? It's a one-bid league.
Yeah.
And we've had dozens of show how that can change, but it's not going to change anytime soon. Miss me with that, Coach Pettaway. It was a good season.
I look at it this way. There's still something to play for.
Yeah.
Southern will have an opportunity to play for an HBCU national championship.
Have they accepted that bid, though? Have they accepted it?
No, I don't know if it's been extended yet, but I'm saying,
and it's still too early. There's the text.
Right. I'm saying because they're a conference champ, that they'll get an invitation to the national championship tournament, and so they still have that to play for. So that's why I'm saying that all hope is not gone. You can still win a championship.
I would like to see that.
Somebody give me an update on Norfolk State. I know Brian said they were down. Oh, lo and behold, don't Norfolk State lose in the tournament. Oh, this thing's gonna blow up then.
There's some talk about that situation too. I'm just saying. I mean, with this, hey.
Well, yeah, but see, that's on the coast though. Yeah, there are plenty of people. South Carolina State's leading 30-23 with 2:31 left in the first half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Norfolk's down by 7.
Well, Carlos, that other tournament, Coach Pettaway, and look, all the tournaments, Coach Pettaway is a part of one of those. I would like to see our teams get in it. I know we were extended a bid a couple years ago to it, and we didn't accept it. The emotion of the season and all of that. That's what I was told. And when you don't get there, it's tough, I think, for some to reel it in and try it again, even though it's another type of tournament. And
I think most look at it from an expense point of view.
Finances,
because you add more to the budget that's already non-existent. Whereas if you get that one bid to the NCAAs, that over the horizon somewhere there's some dollars that'll be coming back. So while it's nice to be able to keep playing and have something to play for, you also got to be mindful budgetary wise of things that weren't necessarily budgeted for in the beginning.
Yeah.
So where are those dollars going to come from? Who am I going to cut short, over the long haul in terms of trying to extend a pretty decent year?
Guarantee games. Take some of that.
That money's
and budget that in the
spent,
early.
Carlos. That money's long gone, Carlos.
Yeah.
It's gone before it gets back to campus.
Except for Texas Southern. They get what, 90? Help me out, Dr. Camille. They get 95% of that to their basketball program.
Well, I can speak for Alcorn, Carlos, on that. I can speak for Alcorn. What I was told on that is that these guarantee games, like the guarantee games we had this season, that's put in a pot. And when you establish your budget starting July 1st of 2025, a part of that budget is determined by some of the guarantee games you had this season.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it's set up at Alcorn. I can't speak for any other school, but I was told not too long ago that's how it's done at Alcorn in terms of the basketball budget, those guarantee games. It helps establish in part your budget for the upcoming fiscal year.
Coach
because
Pettaway,
July 1.
Aren't you glad you're just not
when the
coaching
budget
anymore?
rolls over on July 1, ain't nobody got no money. Ain't no money coming in. You haven't sold football season tickets yet. You haven't gotten any guarantees in yet, that sort of thing. It's all speculation. So the university, in essence, is loaning you the monies to get your season started. Then as the money comes in, naturally, you want to know why it's going to the general fund? Because I've been spending out of the general fund since July 1.
Well,
so I ain't doing nothing but just putting the money back that you all have loaned me.
Yeah, but you're getting interest
in
on
order
it,
to
I
get
believe.
things started.
Oh, they take a little more than what they put out there. Y'all correct me. I think they get interest.
Carlos, everybody in the hole at the end of the year. Everybody's in the red.
So
are they truly ever getting it all back?
No. So we are where we are, right?
We are.
Yeah.
And so we'll never get out of where we are.
Carlos, I'm gonna say this. All right. So the next budget cycle starts July 1. This is March. Right now, our legislators and all these states who have July 1 budgets are meeting to determine the next budget. I guarantee you our enrollment projections have to be in to help determine the university budget, athletics, guarantee games. That's being determined by the games that we got. We play Mississippi State. We've already got that guarantee, but that money's already there. So they've already got the money part of their budget. When the check comes in from Mississippi State, it goes right back where it started from.
Right back where it came from.
I can tell you a check that hasn't came, and they owe billions of dollars to HBCU. What about that check? What about that check? What about that check?
I can't speak to that one, Carlos. I can't.
Some won't speak to
that one, Carlos.
No, I can't speak to that one.
Yeah, but some that can won't. So again, miss me with that. It accused me of poor mouthing. No.
Wheeler, think about this. In Alabama, our fiscal year starts October 1st.
Yeah.
Wow.
We start October 1st.
Yeah.
So when those fall sports report to campus, they got to have money up front.
Wow. You know they do.
So what I'm gonna tell you what happens here. In May, if you hadn't spent it, they take it.
You forget about it.
They take it.
That's right.
If you have not spent it by May, they take it.
Collapse the budget. Collapse
it.
Put it all in one pot.
So that they have startup for those fall sports until that October 1 payment is come in.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. No, I won't say it. I won't say it.
And by the way, Carlos, 34-25 halftime. Norfolk is behind.
If they lose that game,
2 versus 1. That's 2 versus 1. South Carolina State is up.
I'm sure Carlos is Southern. I'm sure at Southern it's kind of the same thing. The budget.
It's a lie.
It's probably the same. Southern probably has more coming in. There's probably a little bit more of a cushion, just my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it's just maybe Southern situation's different in terms of the numbers a little bit more, the cushion's a little bit more. So you have a little bit more to play with. You know, the Bayou Classic brings in good money. You know, Homecoming at Mumford brings in good money. So, and Southern plays a lot of guaranteed games. So maybe a little bit different. Southern might has a little bit more of a ceiling than probably some of the other schools. But I think the processes are probably the same. In my opinion.
Then if you don't meet enrollment expectations, you know, then that budget is going to be adjusted on the fly.
Yeah.
You know, and you are already spending money, that sort of thing. And, you know, so, and then you're always praying that all the kids come back after the Christmas break, because we all know that's when your biggest enrollment drop happens. Yeah, it's at the end of the Christmas break, the fall break. You know, numbers are always going down in the spring as opposed to rising. So, you know, you always got to make those adjustments, you know, after the break, that sort of thing. And, you know, it's just really tough all the way around.
I want that big check. I'm going to say it again. You owe HBCUs millions, billions of dollars.
Billions.
Right.
Yeah.
I want that check. Then I won't have to listen to all this other stuff. Well, we can't do this. We can't do that. We got the budget. We've got to play these guaranteed games. The AD has to struggle. He's not sleeping at night. The coaches, oh, my God, they're not sleeping. When I look at a couple of coaches, one in particular, Bussy looks miserable. Maybe that's just his demeanor, but he just looks miserable.
Oh, no, he's good. What you're saying there is just the byproduct of what you see on the court. Right. He was very emotional after the game the other night. I mean, he put so much into it, and just to come up short again, because the only thing he hasn't done is win the SWAC tournament. He's done everything else. So just to come up short, I mean, and so he's very emotional about it. He's very passionate about it, and just to come up short, he's not miserable. He's probably disappointed that he didn't get there. And so as a coach, you understand that.
Carlos, you got about 45 seconds. Get your breakfast ready so you can watch the end of the men's game. We start so late. Go ahead.
Here you go, Carlos.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Guess what?
All righty.
I'm not going to go on a hunger strike if Southern doesn't win. It just would have been fell short. Auckland and JSU win the SWAC. Thank you for that, Brian Fulford. I'm going to have to root out some of this anti-Southernness on the Black College. On that note, we appreciate everyone. Good discussion. Until next Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Coles Brown Show. Peace and God bless and go Jags.